This is from people.com. Representative Rashida Tlaib easily wins her primary rematch and declares squad is here to stay. Tlaib win all but locks her in for a second term in Congress, where she represents Michigan's 13th congressional district. So this is the district that includes like Detroit. And Rashida Tlaib has won her first, race in 2018, when she came into Congress, and she has been, had a massive impact already. Really fought for working class policies, just not back down. Resisted Trump from the left in an actually substantive way, instead of the sometimes resistance from the right that we see from corporate Democrats. And so this was originally published in people.com on August 6th. And here we see Sister Rashida Tlaib. This is the first Palestinian American woman elected to Congress. So just, a little bit of history there. And so Representative Rashida Tlaib, one of four lawmakers of color who make up the squad, easily won her Democratic primary race this week and declared the Progressive Congressional Group, a prominent conservative target, is here to stay. So while the race had been expected by some to be close, and that's an important thing to note because the establishment and the media were making this out to sound like this was going to be some really close race leading up to this thing. Like, they said how many times that this thing is going to be, they expect it to be like, razor thin. Maybe she loses her seat here. That was all the news you were reading leading up to it. And it was just wishful thinking. They thought that they could just like wish that into existence. But while the race had been expected by some to be close, Tlaib, 44, defeated repeat opponent Brenda Jones after earning more than 66% of the vote in Michigan's 13th congressional district, according to the New York Times. 66%, y'all. 66. That's a 6 and then another 6 right after it. 66% of the vote. That's what you call a mollywhopping. Okay, that is a landslide if I've ever seen one. 66% to the 33 some percent that Brenda Jones received. The last race was an 8-person race. This was a 2-person race. Last time Rashida Tlaib got about 30 something percent, 33%, I believe, of the vote. So this time she doubled her vote total, per percentage total. And yeah, I just think that it's sorry about that. So just a little bit more context here, a little bit more background before I get into my thoughts on it. Jones is the president of Detroit City Council and lost to Tlaib in their last election by only 900 votes, while beating her in another contest by some 1,600 votes. So I can't even get into it because I don't even fully understand it. But suffice it to say that oddly, there were 2 votes that they had 2 votes. And in one of the votes, Tlaib actually lost by 1,600 votes. And in the other vote, she won by 900 through some weird circumstances that happened that year with that district's politics and stuff and whatever weirdness. Ryan Grimm, I saw give some explanation on this, and it's not important. Suffice to say, there were these 2 elections. One of them she managed to win by only 900 votes, and one she lost by 1,600 votes. So here's a statement from Tlaib. Let it be known that in the 13th district, just like in communities across our country, we are done with establishment politics that put corporations first. If I was considered the most vulnerable member of the squad, I think it's safe to say the squad is here to stay, and it's only getting bigger. So that's awesome because that's what all the news was saying. They were saying that she was the most vulnerable member of the squad, that her seat wasn't safe. Ilhan Omar has a race coming up as well. She's going to be fine. She's going to be reelected. And they're pouring crazy amounts of money into against Ilhan Omar. Some wild amounts of money are coming against her, and there's definitely some Islamophobic shit going on there. People hate her because she has really strong, proper left-wing rhetoric on the apartheid state in Israel. As a Muslim woman and a hijabi wearing Muslim woman, She is just a symbol and a flashpoint for people on the right, and they just cannot stand her. And yeah, like the FDR quote, they hate her and she welcomes their hatred, and it's beautiful to watch. And so that's the thing. If Rashida Tlaib was considered the most vulnerable and she handily won her race, then that's that. What that's proving is that when people get into Congress and they actually do what their voters sent them there to do, and they fight for working class policies and for populist economic policies, and they go out there and they resist both the Republicans as well as the Democratic Party from the left, that's popular, and that people will vote for you again. When they see the AOC, won her primary, it was wild. There was another one, like 70-something% of the vote or something, AOC pulled, and for her second vote. So, what it's proving is that if you manage to get in there and you do what you say you're going to do, and you actually fight for these policies, and you don't back down to both to the Republican Party, but also to Democratic Party establishment, and you buck that trend, and you actually go out there and espouse the policies that your constituents believe in and that are popular policies in the country. And make no mistake, left-wing policies are the more popular policies in the country when you actually poll on the individual issues instead of just asking people what they identify as. So it's very, it's a heartening thing to see, and it's a good sign for the left that when we get into power, and as long as we use our power to actually help working class people, that is just popular, and you can continue. You don't even have to do too much campaigning. And mind you, Rashida Tlaib raised a ton of money in this race, and she outraised her opponents tremendously. I don't think Ilhan Omar is lucky enough in that case, because they've come in so hard against Ilhan Omar and they've piled millions of dollars against her. I think that Rashida Tlaib outraised her opponent. Like, I don't know exactly. I'm going to see if they mention in this story. I don't think they do, but she outraised her significant. Okay. However, voters overwhelmingly sided with Tlaib, who built a prominent political profile and gathered endorsements from the likes of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, as well as a $2.9 million to $140,000 advantage in fundraising. So more than 10 to 1. This is crazy because this is the opposite of what you usually see. Usually you see the establishment corporate candidate coming in and being able to raise 10 to 1. Like, that's what happened to AOC. She got outraised, I think, 10 or 20 to 1 in her district by Joe Crowley, and she still beat him. So yeah, this is just encouraging, and I love to see it. And, props to Rashida Tlaib, and shout out to Rashida Tlaib, who just proved all of the media and establishment political, consultants. It just proved them to be as foolish as we all know they are. So shout out to Rashida Tlaib for the win. It's a good win, and it's a meaningful win for the left. And it's a statement about progressive politics and left-wing politics and how it's winning politics. It's not just good policy, it's good politics as well to be on the left and to fight for left-wing labor movements and working class politics. Thanks for watching Radical Democracy Podcast. I'm your host, Kamali Rose. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and if it doesn't bother you, hit that bell below to receive notifications whenever we go live or launch a new video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you can afford it, do me a huge favor and head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/radicaldemocracy and throw me a few bucks. Whatever you can afford, it goes a long way, and I will greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel to continue to exist and to grow, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. All right. Peace. All right, that was a good one. That one's it.